Yeah, guys. Are we ready for our next comedian?
Yeah.
Team A and B. The show must go on. The competition keeps going. Round 3. Give it up for our next comedian. All together. Give it up for Socrates.
Hey, keep going there for empty. Keep going there for empty. I'll lead you off in a jumping jack. So, my name is Socrates. I'm an American. Yeah. Every time. He might get indicted. Probably not. See, I've been living here since 2009, and about just over a year ago, my life changed because I learned a new Dutch word. And that word was aangereden. If you don't know what it means, and he does, it means to be slammed into. In my case, it was aangereden door een scooterklotser. Which means I got ran into by an asshole on a scooter. That's why I do jumping jacks like this now. And basically, there was a car on the bike path, and the scooter stared at the car, and it came on the wrong side of the road, and I came across a blind corner, and there was a scooter there. And I wanted to explain to them all what they were doing wrong, because it's a feet path, which is a bike path. They shouldn't have been on it in the first place. But I didn't have time, so all I could say was, ah! And then I flew, much like a bird. And then I landed, much like an octopus. And like this one. And if you'll notice, that's my arm. Because, yeah, see? Yeah, it's not just a bit. I'm committed to this bit. And I called for an ambulance, and I don't know if you know it or not in the Netherlands, if you ask for an ambulance, they said to me, can you walk? I said, not really. He said, well, are you passing out? I said, no. He said, take a taxi. I said, I'm going to pass out. He said, okay, we'll send you an ambulance. It worked out perfectly for me. And the ambulance got there. He actually offered me fentanyl. Yeah, I'm an American, you know what I mean? Don't tease me. Just give me the heroin, you know? That's the difference between a taxi and an ambulance, by the way. You know, a taxi, you have to know the guy to get the fentanyl. Ambulances have it with them. So they took me to the hospital, the House of Paracetamol. And they took a look at me, did an x-ray, did that face, which you never want to see a doctor make. And then they offered me morphine. Yeah, exactly. You know it's bad when they say, would you like some morphine? Which is what she asked me. I said, sure, yeah, I can go for some morphine now. It's been a shitty day up to that point. I was supposed to be in the sauna, you know, didn't make it. And they gave me the blue strap. Anybody hurt their arm here? You're all expats, so you might not know this. If you hurt your arm in the Netherlands, they have this blue strap. It's blue, and it's a strap. And it's got Velcro. So it's modern technology. And then they do this. And they say that's conservative treatment, which is a nice way of saying the Dutch did nothing. It was cheap, financially conservative, and efficient. And they sent me home and said, it comes good. If you've ever had a doctor or a therapist here, they'll always tell you, it comes good. It's optimistic, buys them some time, and it's very, very cheap. So I went home, optimistically, and I tried to keep my arm exercised. They told me to keep it moving so it wouldn't lock up, and I can only raise it about so much, but if I help, I can get it about this high. So I'm in my backyard, trying to keep my shoulder loose, waving at my neighbors, getting a really bad vibe from the whole neighborhood. Yeah, it turns out they thought I was a Nazi. I told them, no, I got a bad shoulder. I think I'm practicing to be a Nazi now. So I went back to my doctor and I said, hey doc, it's not coming good. You know, I can't get my arm any higher than this. I have arm erectile dysfunction. The first step in coming good is getting it up, and I'm not getting a second date with this thing. And he told me helaas and pindakaas, which is a useless Dutch saying. It means it rhymes, but it means, oh well, peanut butter. Seriously. They say it all the time. Like it means something. It doesn't come good either. You know, the Dutch love a good rhyme, though. Like, my favorite rhyming Dutch saying is, noken in de koken. I was here 3 months, and I was taught this by an old, but it means fucking in the kitchen. Now, maybe I didn't pick up on what she meant, but I don't know how to use noken in de koken in context. I've done helaas pindakaas. I can recognize that, but noken in de koken, I don't know. I don't think so. But I think if you combine noken in de koken with helaas pindakaas, you end up with satay sauce. So I went back to the doctor, and he agreed that maybe they could do a medical procedure on me. It had been 8 months by that point. And so they finally did surgery. They put 12 screws in, a carbon plate, and bone from a dead man. I don't know who he was. I didn't kill him. He would have had to have been really weak for me to have done it. But they also took bone out of my knee and some bone marrow, put it all up in here for some reason, and then I couldn't walk. For like 2 months. The Dutch have a word for this as well, which is it almost rhymes, you know? And it's expressive. If you haven't heard it, it's hard to say if it's a positive or a negative thing, but you will hear it if you ever hang out with Dutch people enough, you know? Like if you just missed the train, that's a It's not the worst time to hear it, though. It's probably the worst time was just after sex. That was pretty good, huh? I don't know what the hell that means. Still better than hearing it before sex. Just saying. Because you want to do this? I've heard it. I've heard it. Just before going in the kitchen. So I actually wanted to get a second opinion because they want to take this whole thing out, and I got necrosis now. A horrible word to hear your doctor say that. You never want to hear your doctor say you have necrosis, you know. And so I have to have the thing removed. They're going to take out the screws. They're going to take out the bone from the dead guy. They're going to throw it all away. I killed a man for nothing. And so I wanted to get a second opinion. So I went to Germany, of course, because let's face it, the Germans, they've done all the experiments. Not all of them necessary, but they've done it. And I went and I talked to the guy, and I said to him, you know, he says, explain what's going on. I said, I can only raise my arm about, you know, so far, or like this if I give it some help. And they got all excited. I realized I may have gone a joke too far on that one. So I'm going to have the surgery here just to be safe. So next week, next Wednesday, I'm going to get my arm chopped open again. If you've seen me, you'll see me in a sling next time. Anyway, stay out of the hospital. If you need some paracetamol, it cures everything, apparently. My name is Socrates. Be careful with the scooters. See you next time.